Have you ever been in a room full of people, maybe even surrounded by your own family, and still felt invisible? Like your voice doesn't quite carry anymore, or your presence slips quietly into the background? It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's a quiet ache, one that's hard to name, but easy to feel. If you've ever felt that, please know you're not alone, and more importantly, there's nothing wrong with you. This feeling isn't about being needy or overly sensitive. It's about something deeply human, our need to be seen. Not just looked at, but really seen, heard, valued. As we grow older, this sense of invisibility can creep in slowly, almost silently. The kids grow up and move away, wrapped up in their own lives. Old friends drift apart. The phone rings less. And even when the room isn't empty, the silence still feels heavy. It's strange, isn't it? You're still here, still you, but somehow it feels like the world's gaze has shifted and forgotten to take you with it. But here's something I need you to hear. Your story didn't stop just because others stopped paying attention. You still matter. And this space right here is for you. So today let's talk, heart to heart, about what it means to feel invisible. Stanchly, invisible, and how you can begin, gently and truthfully, to step back into the light of your own life. Because you were never meant to fade quietly. You were meant to shine. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about something incredibly profound, something many of us might experience without even realizing it. Have you ever felt like your entire life has been dedicated to others? Maybe you're a parent who poured every ounce of your being into your children, a devoted partner who always put your loved one's needs first, or perhaps a volunteer who tirelessly gave your time to those in need. It's a beautiful, selfless path, isn't it? To be the constant support, the steady hand, the one everyone can lean on. But here's the thing about always being the helper, the rock for everyone else. Over time, it's so easy for both others and ourselves to forget that we too are complete human beings. We're not just a role, we're not just a function. We have dreams, desires, and vulnerabilities just like anyone else. I remember a time when I felt like I was constantly operating in support mode. My days revolved around what others needed, and while there was immense joy in that, there was also a quiet, creeping sense of disconnect. It's like we become so focused on tending to everyone else's garden that we forget to water our own. We might even lose touch with the simple joys of the present moment because we've been living for others for so long. Have you ever caught yourself feeling a strange emptiness, even amidst fulfilling moments? A subtle ache that whispers, "What about me?" It's not selfish to ask that question. In fact, it's a vital whisper from your own soul, a gentle deserve to be seen, nurtured, and remembered. And healing, truly, begins the moment we start listening to that whisper. In our last conversation, we talked about how easy it is to lose ourselves when we constantly live for others, becoming the support system everyone leans on. We touched on that quiet ache, that subtle whisper from within asking, "What about me?" But here's a deeper, more challenging truth. Sometimes, the feeling of invisibility doesn't just come from external factors or from others overlooking us. Often it begins from a place far more intimate and insidious, within ourselves. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself thinking, "My opinion doesn't really matter anymore," or "It's probably best if I don't say anything at all," or even, "I'm just a burden to everyone." These aren't just fleeting thoughts. They are powerful whispers that over time can convince us to slowly, silently dim our own light. It's like we start shrinking ourselves, making ourselves smaller and smaller until we become transparent even to ourselves. We begin to believe these narratives about our own worth, and without realizing it, we start acting as if we are indeed invisible. But here's the powerful, healing truth I want you to carry with you. You are still valuable. And your value isn't tied to what you do for others, how much you contribute, or the roles you fill. Your value isn't dependent on external validation or the echoes of past contributions. Your value exists simply because you are you. You are a complete, worthy human being, inherently deserving of space, of voice, and of joy. This isn't about ignoring others. It's about reclaiming your own inherent worth. It's about challenging those inner voices that tell you to disappear. Because when you truly recognize that you are enough, just as you are, you begin to shine from within. And that light, my friend, is impossible to ignore. In our last segment, we explored how the feeling of invisibility can begin within us, fueled by those quiet, often harsh self-judgments. Now, let's dig a little deeper. Because for many of us, the roots of this self-diminishing behavior can stretch back much further than we realize, right into our childhood. Think back. Were there times when your feelings were dismissed or brushed aside? Maybe you heard phrases like, "Don't be so dramatic," or "It's nothing to cry about." Or perhaps you were praised most when you were good, which often meant quiet or unobtrusive. Children, in their innate desire for approval and love, are incredibly perceptive. They quickly learn what behaviors bring warmth and what brings dismissal. If being loud or expressing strong emotions led to disapproval, while being well-behaved and silent earned praise, a child learns to internalize that lesson, to make themselves smaller, to fade into the background. This isn't about blaming anyone, it's about understanding the deep, subtle patterns that shape us. I've often seen this in myself, a tendency to hold back, to not fully express my needs or opinions, stemming from those early lessons. We carry these unspoken rules, these deeply ingrained patterns, into our adult lives. And tragically, as we age, instead of breaking free, we often continue to follow this ingrained blueprint. We keep hiding in the shadows, believing that our most comfortable and accepted place is one where we are unseen, unheard, and unburdened by our own desires. But understanding this past isn't about dwelling on it. It's about illuminating the path forward. It's about recognizing that the silence you learned wasn't your fault, and it doesn't have to be your future. You have the power to gently, lovingly begin to find your voice again. We've talked about how we can lose ourselves in supporting others, how our own negative self-talk contributes to feeling unseen, and how even our childhood experiences can teach us to dim our light. Now, let's widen our lens a bit, because there's another powerful force at play that often makes many of us, especially as we age, feel increasingly invisible: the unspoken culture of our modern society. Think about the messages we constantly receive. Our world often celebrates youth, speed, and relentless productivity above all else. We're bombarded with images of success tied to rapid innovation, boundless energy, and constant output. And tragically, in this fast-paced narrative, the immense value that comes with age, like calm wisdom, profound kindness, a lifetime of invaluable experience, or even just a comforting presence, can be quietly, subtly dismissed. It's not that these qualities aren't cherished privately, but they are rarely amplified or celebrated in the mainstream narrative of what it means to be successful or relevant. This isn't about being cynical, it's about being honest about the landscape we live in. And here's why this insight is so crucial for our healing. If you've been feeling unheard, overlooked, or irrelevant as you've gotten older, I want you to understand something deeply important. This is not your fault. This isn't because you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not doing enough. It's a systemic issue, a reflection of a societal blindness that undervalues the very qualities that often blossom most beautifully with time. Knowing this can be incredibly freeing. It shifts the blame from you to a broader cultural pattern. And when we understand that, we can stop internalizing those societal messages and start reclaiming our inherent worth, unapologetically, regardless of what the world around us seems to say. You have so much to offer, simply by being the wise, experienced, and unique individual you are right now. We've journeyed through understanding how we can lose ourselves in serving others, how our inner critic can silence us, and how even childhood echoes and societal norms can contribute to feeling invisible. Today, let's gently confront another common, often painful aspect of this experience: the feeling of being left behind when your relationships change. Perhaps you've been the primary caregiver for your children, and now they're grown, living their own lives. Maybe you were always the family mediator, the one who kept everyone connected, and now those dynamics have shifted. Or perhaps your professional role, which once defined so much of your identity and interaction, has ended. When your established roles, like the caregiver, the fixer, or the constant presence, begin to dissolve or transform, it can leave a gaping hole. The flow of daily calls, the constant need for your input, the frequent visits, they might simply lessen. And in that quiet space, a painful question often arises. Do I still matter? Am I still important? It's a natural human response to wonder about your place when the ways you've connected and contributed change. It's easy to internalize that quiet, that reduced contact, as a sign of your diminished value. I've certainly felt that pang, that sudden silence in spaces that used to be full of activity. It's a lonely feeling, isn't it? But here's where we can begin to heal and rebuild. This is not a time for silent suffering. The solution, the courageous next step, lies in gently, honestly, and vulnerably voicing your feelings. Instead of retreating further, consider reaching out. It could be as simple and heartfelt as saying, "I've been missing hearing your voice lately," or "I'd love to just chat when you have a moment." This isn't about demanding attention, it's about expressing a genuine human need for connection. It opens a door, allowing those who care about you to step back in, reminding both them and yourself that your desire for connection is valid, and that you are and always will be deeply important. We've explored so many facets of feeling unseen, from dedicating our lives to others to our own inner critics, the echoes of childhood, societal neglect, and the pain of shifting relationships. And while these are very real challenges, I want to end on a powerful, truly inspiring note. Because no matter what you've experienced, no matter how long you felt that quiet sense of invisibility, remember this profound truth. It is never too late to form new, deeply meaningful connections. Perhaps you've thought, "My time for making new friends or finding new communities has passed." I hear you. It's a common fear, especially as we age and our established circles might shrink. But I've seen and experienced incredible stories of people finding profound friendships and connections even well into their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Imagine this. A simple decision to join a walking group could lead to finding someone who becomes a cherished confidant, a soulmate in friendship. Or perhaps stepping into a book club, a local volunteering group, or even an online community focused on a shared hobby could open doors to unexpected joys and genuine companionship. The key, my friends, to inviting these new connections into your life, whether you're 25 or 85, lies in two incredibly powerful qualities: authenticity and openness. When you are genuinely yourself, when you're willing to share a bit of your heart, your stories, your interests, you create an irresistible invitation. You make it safe and welcoming for others to step forward too. It's about being brave enough to offer a smile, to start a conversation, to show a little vulnerability, and to trust that there are beautiful souls out there waiting to connect with the real you. So, if you've been longing for more connection, please know that the door is always open. It might just require you to gently, lovingly reach out and turn the doorknob. Your journey of connection is far from over. We've talked about external factors that make us feel unseen, from the roles we play to childhood patterns to societal norms and the shifting dynamics of our relationships. But now, let's bring it full circle, because one of the most powerful and immediate shifts we can make happens right here, within the quiet space of our own minds. Think about the conversation you have with yourself, moment by moment, day in and day out. For many of us, especially when feeling unseen, those inner whispers can be incredibly harsh. They might sound like, "No one cares about me anymore," or "I'm just a burden," or even, "What's the point?" These are more than just thoughts. They are self-inflicted wounds, pushing us further into isolation, making us contract and withdraw. It's like we're building walls around ourselves with every negative self-statement, reinforcing the very invisibility we long to escape. I know I've been there, caught in that loop, and it's a profoundly lonely place. But here's the powerful, liberating truth. You have the power to change that inner dialogue. You can gently, persistently, rewrite the script of your own mind. Imagine replacing those harsh judgments with words of tenderness and acceptance. Instead of, "No one cares," what if you whispered to yourself, "I am still here, my presence matters." Or, when you feel unworthy, this isn't about forced positivity, it's about cultivating a deep, healing compassion for the most important person in your life, you. It's about making a daily practice of becoming your own most loving advocate, gently uplifting yourself and reminding yourself of your inherent worth. Every kind thought, every moment of self-acceptance is a step towards reclaiming your visibility, not just for the world, but for the beautiful, precious person you are. You deserve to speak to yourself with love, and truly, that's where true healing begins. We've journeyed through understanding the layers of feeling unseen, from dedicating ourselves to others, to negative self-talk, childhood echoes, societal pressures, changing relationships, and the vital practice of shifting our inner voice. Now, let's talk about the practical, beautiful ways we can reclaim our presence in the world, starting with the simplest of actions. Sometimes, when we felt invisible for so long, the idea of showing up can feel overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. True healing and visibility often begin with doing anything, purely for your own joy. Have you ever stopped to consider what truly lights you up, even in a small way? Perhaps it's putting on that favorite outfit, not because you're going anywhere special, but simply because it makes you feel good. Or maybe it's picking up a paintbrush, even if you've never painted before, learning photography, taking a leisurely walk just to notice the beauty around you, or simply pouring your thoughts into a journal. These aren't just hobbies. These are acts of radical self-affirmation. They are quiet, powerful statements to yourself that say, "I am still here, my desires matter, my joy is important." In a world that often demands we be productive, efficient, or constantly serving others, choosing to engage in something simply because it nourishes your soul is a profound act of self-love and self-recognition. I remember when I started sketching again after years, just for myself. There was no goal, no one to impress, just the pencil on paper and the simple, quiet satisfaction. And in those moments, I felt so incredibly present, so undeniably alive. These seemingly small acts are how you remind yourself, deep in your bones, that you are still vibrant, still capable of experiencing delight, and still full of meaning. You are not fading. You are simply rediscovering the beautiful, unique light that was always within you. So, what small act of joy will you embrace today to affirm your own wonderful presence? We've walked through so many layers of feeling unseen and discussed tangible ways to reclaim our presence, from shifting our inner voice to embracing small acts of joy. Now, I want to share a truly beautiful, incredibly powerful story that embodies everything we've been talking about. It's a story about an 83-year-old woman, a quiet testament to the fact that it's never too late to be seen, to be heard, and to truly be present. This remarkable woman had, for many years, quietly taken her place at the very back of community gatherings. She was always there, a gentle presence, but often unnoticed, easily blending into the background. She rarely spoke, rarely drew attention to herself. Life had, in many ways, taught her to be small, to be silent. But then, after experiencing a profound personal loss, something shifted within her. It was a moment of deep vulnerability, a space where the noise of the world quieted enough for her own truth to emerge. One day, in that same community meeting, she stood up. The room quieted, a collective intake of breath. And with a voice that was soft but clear, she began to share her story. A deeply personal, tender tale of a secret, unspoken love she had held in her heart for decades, a love that had blossomed and endured through life's quiet corners. It wasn't a dramatic confession. It was a deeply honest, incredibly authentic sharing of her heart. And do you know what happened? The entire room fell silent. People leaned forward, captivated. You could see the raw emotion, the profound connection on their faces. Many were moved to tears. In that moment, by simply sharing her truth, not loudly, not with fanfare, but with genuine vulnerability, she became utterly present. She wasn't visible because she demanded attention. She was seen, profoundly and beautifully, because she chose to be authentic. Her story wasn't about being grand. It was about being real. And that, my friends, is the most powerful presence of all. We've come to the end of our journey today, exploring the profound feeling of invisibility that so many of us experience at different stages of life. We've uncovered the layers, from losing ourselves in supporting others to the critical voices within, the echoes of childhood, societal neglect, and the painful shifts in our relationships. We've also celebrated the power of new connections, the profound impact of shifting our inner dialogue, and the quiet revolution of small, joyful acts. And as we close, I want to leave you with the most crucial message of all. You don't need to be who you once were to be incredibly valuable today. The world often tells us we need to be busy, constantly productive, or surrounded by invitations to be worthy. But that is simply not true. You don't need to be running at full speed or have a packed social calendar to matter. Your worth, your inherent light, is not conditional. It just is. So, I invite you to gently whisper these truths to yourself, to let them sink deep into your heart. I am still here. My presence matters. I am still learning, still growing, still evolving. I am still worthy of being seen, heard, and cherished. You are not invisible. You are not fading away. You are, in fact, a quiet, steady light, a source of wisdom, kindness, and unique experience that this world still desperately needs. Your journey, your presence, your gentle strength, they all contribute to the rich tapestry of life. I hope this conversation has resonated with you, brought some comfort, and perhaps sparked a new sense of hope. If it has, please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. What part of this conversation spoke to you the most? We'd love to hear your feelings and experiences. And if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Elderly Joy Life for more discussions that celebrate and uplift you. Remember, your light is needed. Keep shining,